And if I could call to order HCID #1. And are there any board members present on Zoom?
No, we're not on Zoom.
Are there any members of the public present on Zoom?
No public on Zoom.
Did I hear something?
No, it's that.
Okay, so I won't need to state the conference call rules since we don't have anybody attending by Zoom. Do we have any comments from the public attending? Okay. So if we could approve the minutes of the September 24th meeting, if were sent out previously. I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is the fiscal year 2024-25 audit. If we could ask Shannon and Jessica to take us through that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, the audit committee met at the beginning of the week, and Jessica, our partner here with CRI, walked them through the intimate details of the report. She's here today. Jessica.
Good afternoon, everybody. So like Shannon mentioned, we walked through the financial statements as well as the required communication letter. We concluded the audit and we are issuing an unmodified opinion that is a clean opinion under U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. Okay. This year, there were really no new accounting policies adopted, no changes to the application of the existing policies either. We did mention there were 2 new standards that became effective this year, but the conclusion was that neither one resulted in changes in the accounting or the disclosures of the related transactions. In terms of the disclosures, they were fairly consistent to last year. We did added 2 new notes. One, to disclose the fact that the district received FEMA funds this year for reimbursement of the costs incurred for the Beryl storm, and also to disclose the fact that you'll also receive FTA federal award fully executed in August of 2025. Okay, so that's important to know because next year, fiscal year of 2026, the district will be subject to a single audit, that it's more like a compliance audit, so we can conclude if the funds were properly managed and used by the district. That's so that it's coming. Okay. In terms of internal controls, no material weaknesses were required by standard to communicate that to this group. If we identify anything as part of our audit procedures, we're required to communicate that, and there were none. So a clean opinion.
And then Mr. Larner.
Yeah, so we did review the audit in more detail and they were really pretty straightforward this year. We've had some years where they're a little bit odd, but there's nothing odd about this from kind of year to year. The items adjusted met. So from the audit committee's perspective, we do recommend the approval of the issuance of this.
So thank you, Mr. Audit Committee Chair. And I guess you requested the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the action carries. Thank you. And so our next item of business is to conduct a public hearing on the proposed 2025 district tax rate. And Stephen, if you could take us through that, please.
I'm going to take you through the just initial portion here of the hearing, which is to go through the process that we've been through at this point. As required by law, it's a 2-step process. The board adopted the preliminary tax rate of 14.345 cents per hundred on September 24th. The notice of public hearing was published in the newspaper. There it is. And we are not in rollback territory because the average tax bill on residence homestead does not increase by 8% or more. There's no possibility of a rollback election. And now to complete the process of setting your taxes, we can conduct a public hearing.
Okay, so we have called the public hearing to order. And Michael, did you want to touch on anything as well?
Yeah, some points. Here's the taxable valuations that we've had since 2005. As we've noticed, these are personal property in orange, and then the grayish blue is real property. Little under 2.5 billion back in 2005. We grew during those years, and we had the economic downturn of 2008, 2009. We started back up. We've hit a We've had a couple of other economic downturns. Oil's gone from 100 to 30 twice. We've had Harvey. We've had the pandemic in here. So we've leveled out since 17, 18 on the valuations. There's 2025. On our, as how it relates to our 25-26 budget year, you'll notice we budgeted 6.4 billion in valuation for the 24 budget year. We came in at certified value as September 25th, 2025, and we pulled them at 6.6 billion, 379 million. So we're pretty close. We used 2020 valuations to set our budget for 2025, so we can be conservative. So this is what we budgeted for 2025, 6.391 billion. Our current certified valuation is 6.7 billion, but it's not all certified yet. There's still 166 million uncertified. And Shannon, correct me on this if I'm wrong, is that when we went through the same exercise in 2024, we were about 6.7.
Yeah, it's about 6.75 billion.
So this number will come down. It is being litigated.
Yes, it will be litigated. I don't think the litigations have ramped up yet, so.
That's right.
But normally you see about 3 to 4 billion worth of litigations out of that $6 billion.
And how that relates to the taxable revenue for 25-26. So we have an assessed value of 6.7 billion, 14.3 cents, tax rate of $100 valuation, revenue 9,600,000. We'll collect 9,615,000. There's a debt service rate 4.5 cents. The operating tax rate is 9.7 cents for a operational revenue of 6,559,000. Again, it's still uncertified.
So am I reading this right? We're less than 1% uncertified? Is that roughly right?
Yes, we're less than 1% uncertified, but we have not begun the litigation, and that's where we see stuff start to tick down. So yeah, the first part is to go through the hearing board, review board. If you're not satisfied there, then you go to the litigation route and it ticks on from there.
So another way to say it is we're budgeting based on 99%-ish certification?
Yes, we're budgeting off of 2023 certification. That's how we got
Roughly around the same thing, 24.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Leslie. All right, go, Mr. Chairman, call Leslie.
Leslie, if we could call on you, please, to tell us about the capital markets and our debt tax rate.
Well, the government has shut down, and so we're not getting a lot of fresh data out of the federal government, and so it's a little bit unclear what's going to happen in the Fed. I'm sure you guys have paid attention. We did have that 25 basis point cut, and the muni market has been doing quite well. They're strong. Essentially, our analysis is simply confirming everything that Shannon and Michael have shared with you, and that the debt service tax rate of about 4.5 pennies is sufficient to make your principal and interest payments for this upcoming calendar year. As well as generating about $6.6 million for your operating account. And so there's your debt service fund cash flow. That's that tax base number of 6.7 billion at the 4.5 cents tax rate, generating sufficient revenues to cover your debt service.
Are there any questions? So, Stephen, I guess the next thing to do is to confirm the debt tax rate.
That is correct.
And, do we need a motion for that?
No, that was Jessica's Leslie's recommendation was to the debt service tax rate. And the next action the board has to take is to adopt the order levying taxes.
Okay, so that concludes the public hearing, which we will now adjourn. And the next item is to consider adopting the order levying taxes for 2025. found on page 11.
The order levying taxes is the official action of the board, set the tax rate. And it spells out the overall tax rate plus the components of the tax rate, which you can see there. And so we just need a motion to approve the order levying taxes.
Are there any questions or discussion on that item? If not, can I request a motion to adopt the order levying the taxes? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And that takes us on to considering amending the district information form and authorizing appropriate action. Stephen, if you could take us through that, that's found on page 13.
Page 13 is the yearly amendment to the district information form. This is a document that gets filed in Harris County deed records. And the purpose is to put the purchasers of property in the district on notice as to what the tax rate is and that the district has some outstanding bonds. We just need a motion from the board to approve the amendment and authorize us to file it with deed records.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And that takes us to the next item, which is to review the quarterly budget report. Shannon, if you could help us with that, please, on page 17.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Don't go back.
So you saw this earlier. We went through this. We're budgeting, we budgeted value basically on the 2023, which is the same as 2024. We did the same thing. We looked back 2 years from when we set 2024. We did the same thing with 2025. Does that make sense? And so we told you on the last meeting, we'd give you an update on revenue and expenses. Revenue basically hasn't changed. We feel comfortable in the little bit under 6.4 million. We won't have exact numbers. We start getting in our revenue, correct me, Shannon, in December. We start receiving it, but we really won't know the full effect until January, February.
That's when the big dollars come in.
Yeah. And if we see any variation on what we usually get during those times, we'll start looking at cutting back our expenses. But right now, we're looking at as we're looking good on what we budgeted. And so first quarter, FY 2025-26, the blue is the first quarter compared to what we thought the first quarter was going to look like. And we're basically at our budgeted number for the first quarter. Everything is within, except for beautification maintenance is percent over, everything else is couple percentage under. This is our total budget for the year. So we're tracking at 25, a little less than 25% of the budget for this first quarter. And we'll continue to do this every quarter as you see it. So it's a good exercise for the staff at the same time, so that we know where we're overspending and underspending. We haven't had a hurricane, which is a good thing. We still might get a freeze or a storm in that. And I think John might have that we need to put money into our budget for weather events. We did. We have 160,000 in our budget for weather events.
Now you won't need it.
Man, I hope we won't need it. That'd be good.
It's like
And
taking
we're-
your umbrella.
And we are, but at the same time, we are projecting right now, again, it'll change, that we'll probably have $150,000 surplus.
That's
So-
correct.
Yeah, so we don't spend it, good possibly have 300,000 surplus. Shane, anything I missed?
Nope, and the detail, line item detail is in your book if you want to see specific line items.
Thank you. So that was just for review purposes, and that takes us on to the last item, which is receiving an update on the Uptown projects and operations.
All right, I mentioned last week, if y'all weren't here, that we're changing up, some of our flowers. Post Oak Boulevard stays the same. We'll have flowers up and down Post Oak Boulevard. We'll put in Dianella, which will show you the photo, up on Richmond, Sage, Uptown Park, and part of San Felipe. And then we're bringing in, Pringle U's, for Westheimer and a couple other spots, San Philip. Actually, I think San Philip is Dino. It should be Dino. This is Dino. This was just planted a couple days ago, right here off of, San Philip. Looks great. It's good. It will fill out over the winter and spring. And then this is over on Sage. We've had, retail news. We've, Greenlee Hotel announced that, Delenia, I think I got that right. They announced a new restaurant in their hotel. There's one of these restaurants in Washington, DC. It's part of a restaurant group. And also Galleria announced a new Italian fashion boutique at Elizabetta, Frenchy. That's it. They, so first to market here, there's one in Miami and there was one in Los Angeles. So, and I forgot to say, Sasha Levine, she has her center over here is fully leased up. There's not one open space right now. That's pretty great. And then this, Bob put this together. This is our retail sales for the first 2 quarters of this year compared to all the way back to 2020. So it's only the first 2 quarters. We've got in gray, it's supposed to be dark blue, Uptown Orange is Central Business District. Dark green is Memorial City and City Center. Light blue, we just put up a Kirby and Rice Center just to have some comparison. Do you see what the difference is? And so before the pandemic, which isn't on here, the highest, they were averaging about 3.7 billion in total retail sales, and retail sales is restaurant and also retail. And so since then, we came out of the pandemic, we started hitting over 5 billion a year. And we are set to hit 5 billion again in 2025, which is great.
Yeah.
You'd expect that once we went up after the pandemic, we'd start going back down. A steady decrease, but we're going back up. So all the retailers out there, Sasha, Michael, Irma, all y'all, this is good news. For the retail. And what this affects the city, sales tax. They get sales tax, Metro gets sales tax, the hot tax from all the hotels. Goes into the museum district, many other organizations. We're an economic engine, retail economic engine for the city. We're not the Port of Houston, but we are a significant economic engine for the region and the city. The stars have gone up. We have to start early. We got 1,000 stars and over 300 trees. The trees started going in today. And the first day of, it's the first day of standard time is November 2nd. We'll light them up on November 2nd for 2 months. And then the turkey trot. I know that Kendall, Stephen, you're going to sign up for the turkey trot this year.
I'm working on my turkey outfit.
Yeah. Jonathan will be out there. I'm going to try to be out there with my girls, but they got blue shirts this year instead of gray shirts that look like the asphalt. So we're very excited. And they think they had what they cap at 7,000 or 8,000. What was it? 7,000. Now they've got for 10. And the only reason they capped it is because of the number of medals they bought. Now they bought 10,000 medals.
Oh, good.
So,
I mean, is it 5K?
it's a 5K, a 10K, and a kids run. Three different.
Like, I'll partake.
I know Jonathan runs it. He ran last number, but good to have him back. And we're already starting to work with the rodeo on having the rodeo trail ride back next year.
Cool.
So, any questions? We keep tracking. I didn't put up here because I usually put it up every other meeting. We're still tracking the crime rate, the theft from a vehicle and theft of a vehicle is still going down. We have what's the app we use? WhatsApp with all the retailers involved. So that seems to be working out well. We're also going to start one with hotels here pretty soon, so that we can compare hotels. I know have issues with homeless in their garages. That's one issue. They also have issues with instances have it in the lobby. Well, they need to have security in the lobby.
Yeah.
But we're working a lot closer together. I think the new police vehicles are working, so numbers still staying steadily going down.
There was an auto theft or being the suspects of Ring that was just arrested. So we're hoping that that's gonna make a difference, hopefully.
Right.
So spending a lot of time on a bunch of assets, and I can't remember if you talked about this last meeting, but you know, with World Cup coming, I think it's finally really dawning on people what's about to happen. And I can't remember, did you stick money in here in terms of either security or mobility?
We've got some for maintenance, not mobility. We'll work with Metro and others for that. We've got for maintenance in here. We're going to expand our maintenance a little bit for the exchange up here.
Yep.
TxDOT's put $1.5 million.
Talked with Joe Bial about that today.
So we're going to do some of that. Yeah, he wants us to do a lot more.
Yes, he does.
I like to compare.
You're not the only one that's being asked.
But yeah, and so he did talk to the World Cup committee, the COO, what's his name, Bob? That was over here. And we talked about, we're gonna try to do something special because the bigwigs are staying in the post oak. So when they get off 610, we want to do some kind of, in that empty lot, some kind of welcome FIFA, welcome right next to Uptown Park. Welcome FIFA. Maybe have some big blow up soccer balls that look tastefully nice. We want to get help from the World Cup host committee. And so we talked to them. We're going to talk to them again about, okay, you're putting all this money into, I like to compare the games are 11 a.m. and 1 or 1:30 or something. Yeah. They're going to go to the game. They're going to look for restaurants. They're going to look shopping. They're going to look at going somewhere else. They're going to go to that fan fest once, and they're going to look at other places to go. They're going to go to the gallery. They're going to go to all the restaurants. So I think they get it that I like to use the sales tax, the hot tax. Downtown's about 21, the last 10 years, downtown's 21% of the hot tax. Uptown's 19% of the hot tax.
Wow.
So it kind of comparison about where people stay.
Mhm.
We get a more constant every month. People coming here. Downtown gets the conventions,
Yeah.
and then it dies on during the holidays, and then everybody's staying here. So
And I think in December, we find out what team was staying at the JW.
Right.
There's a team that's gonna be staying.
Will there be any kind of extra security or?
We definitely, have increased the security, not only the hours, but the rate. That we have to pay the police officers in order to get them to entice them to come to work here and to keep the ones okay.
they have a full team, even with the Secret Service, the FBI, and everybody that will be coordinating security for the entire city. And that means those international teams that come in and where they're staying.
Okay.
So the federal government put a bunch of money into it. It's going to be hard for us to pay our the HPD that driver patrols during that time.
Yeah.
Because HPD is going to keep everybody in on their payroll.
Yeah.
And so anybody that's extra is going to go up $85, $90 an hour.
indeed.
We pay 45. We pay 45.
Hence the question.
And so we're going to be working with HPD about getting extra, since we are one of the places where people are going to stay, where they're going to be drinking and eating. We need to have extra patrols here, and then we're going to ask for that. And we're also going to ask, did y'all get the exemption? There's an exemption if you get an exemption that you can keep your extra duty officers.
Oh, yes, we do have that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have that.
we're going to ask for that too. But
What is that?
So we're considered a like critical infrastructure or something like that. And so by the police officers, they're blocked from taking any vacation during that time. But we're exempt that they can work overtime with us as opposed to with the city. And that was the way to kind of keep the deployment up.
You still have to pay higher.
Oh, we have, yeah,
Yeah, they
we're
are, right.
told $90 an hour that we have to pay in order to have,
This is a 6-week period. It's not like a weekend.
yeah,
So the,
it's 7 games.
I was gonna say, John Coffin, who we met with, COO of PIPA.
Yeah.
And he sees the importance of uptown, says it is definitely gateway, downtown, East River, uptown, are really the three key areas that they are looking at. As far as, besides what else has been said, hotels, just because we only have one or maybe two teams that are coming to the uptown area, does not mean this place is not gonna be full, because there are some of the hotels, because of the terms of agreement to keeping a team, they've chosen not to sign on, to keep the team, and believe they're gonna be better by not doing so. And so, for example, Hilton, other hotels, so they're all gearing up for this, it's gonna be a big deal. And John said, we're gonna need the security, infrastructure's gonna have to work, we're gonna be meeting with the hospitality people in the uptown area next month. After they meet with FIFA here in about a week. And so we're continuing to work on that. So World Cup's coming and it's gonna be a big deal.
yeah, when we talked to CIO, he's still working on where all his budget's going to. And so we're sitting there asking, okay, you gotta give us some for all the special stuff around here, since you got a big group. And it's also, I mean, we talked about they have the logo of the astronaut kicking the soccer ball, doing something on the side of the building.
Oh, that's
On
cool.
the Galleria, it's a flat surface. So
Uh-huh,
you see it from the freeway, and at night, and so
we worked it out with the Weston.
we no, this is just us two talking.
Okay.
We figured the Weston would do it if it didn't cost them anything. So anyway, so we're working.
Any ticket discussion?
Yes.
I didn't get it. But that probably could happen.
And this is June next summer,
Yeah, that's.
so that's towards the end of our budget.
Yeah.
So if there's not a weather event, maybe there's something available.
It's gonna, I mean, I wish Texas was putting them, when they first started talking about 4 or 5 million. It soon came down very quickly to 1.5, and that's really not enough to do everything they need.
Will we find out in December what teams are gonna be playing here?
December.
Because I think that's the game changer for us.
It is
Depending on the
which
teams, yeah.
And they're talking about the World Cup folks were talking about every team has a base within because they're not gonna fly from Africa or Europe, they're gonna pick somewhere in that Houston is centrally located. To be able to get to East Coast, West Coast, North South. So that Houston has a good chance of people staying. That had a team camped out here the entire 6 weeks. So they'll go play somewhere else and then come back.
Yeah.
They'll play with someone else.
And the better teams have bigger hotel bills.
They were saying that the teams don't really book up a lot of room because they're small. You got how many players on a soccer team? Total, and then you got a couple. So it is the other hotel that you will fill up the hotel.
But it's gonna be the fans that are gonna come, hoping that they could catch them while they're off, while they're not playing, that we're preparing for. That's why for us, it's not just the days of the event, it's that whole time.
So as your players are coming and going, you've got people
Yeah,
staying around waiting.
yeah,
And that being an awful corner, Sage and West Time. We're gonna
yeah.
have to be working on keeping everybody out of the streets and on the sidewalk. Waiting for that bus to come in that won't go in the driveway. It stays on Westheimer.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. So frustrating.
that's exciting time.
Mhm.
All right, well, thanks for the update. And with that, I think we can adjourn Harris County Improvement District #1, and thanks again for making the quorum work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.